What's up? Welcome into the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Great to be back with Lauren Cash tonight.
Yes, a short travel for the Eastern Kentucky Colonels tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, glad to be back with you. EKU making the trip to Commonwealth Stadium from Richmond. These guys 0-3 all-time versus Kentucky.
So it shouldn't be close, right?
I don't know. It's FBS versus FCS. Let's see how they would do. EKU has never beat Kentucky, as mentioned, 0-3 all-time. 8th season as the Colonels head coach for Dean Hood. Kentucky gets the ball first. Third play from scrimmage. Patrick Tolles out to Jeff Badette, and oh my goodness. He fumbles the football. Can't hold on to it. Kobe Grace scoops it up. Turnover number 1 for the Wildcats, but EKU, they don't capitalize. However, halfway through the first quarter, we're going to see him again. Still scoreless. Tolles, this time on the run to Garrett Johnson, and he gets lit up. It's by Grace. Literally, no grace given. Kobe Grace again out to hit some people tonight. Another look, blows the kiss. That's the hit stick, everyone. Next drive for the Cats, 2nd and 9. Tolles on the run again. Offensive line not giving it any time at this point, and this time, he throws a nice pass. Blake Bone comes back, gets it. He's down at the 1-yard line. That's the Tolles everybody wants to see. 3 plays later, the worst play known to man when you're running highlights. The QB sneak. Tolles sneaks it in. Wait for the signal. Yep, touchdown. That guy knows it's a touchdown as well. Kentucky goes up 7-0. Second quarter, Colonels on the move now. Josh Forrest there to apply pressure. The ball's out. Check it out again. Benny Coney's hands just, couldn't hold on to it. He swatted it a little bit. Problem is, on the second play of Kentucky's drive, Tolles is picked off. That ball is underthrown to Dorian Baker. Stanley absent and intercepts it. Turnover number 2 on the night for the Football Cats. A lot of talk about how Drew Barker was definitely going to play in this game. Yeah, that doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon because Tolles isn't doing anything. EKU drives down the field. Cody goes up top. That's Devin Borders. An 11-play, 71-yard drive, 7-6 after the missed extra point. 29 seconds to go now in the half. Tolles. Oh my goodness. Lauren, Patty Ice picked off again, another underthrown ball. Keontae Northington this time picks him off. Second interception of the night. Turnover number 3. It's 7-6 at the half. We go third quarter. The Colonels drive down the field and Coney puts it in. 10-play, 54-yard drive, 13-7. EKU leads. Commonwealth shocked.
Stunned.
Ensuing drive for the Cats. Tolles. Somebody. Hit somebody, please. This time not an interception. This one to Jeff Badette. 36 on the hookup. Game tied at 13. This pump. Fourth quarter. EKU back in the red zone again. Coney gives it to the former Kentucky Wildcat, Deshaun Mobley, the reigning Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year, puts the Colonels back up a touchdown. EKU's not supposed to win this game. Later again, EKU back down there again. Cody to his man Borders again. Second touchdown of the night for those two. 27-13, Kentucky down by 2 scores. The FBS school down a couple touchdowns to an FCS school, for real? But JoJo Kent makes it a 1-score ball game. Bounces out to the outside. That's a 7-yard score. Wildcats down the touchdown. And then on the next drive, Dorian Baker.
4th and 3.
Goodness. I mean,
game on the line.
Game on the line there, like you said. 40 seconds to go, and we'll take another look at this one. Again, it was 27-20. Tolles up top to Dorian Baker. This game goes into overtime. EKU decides to push it into overtime, go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, and Kentucky wins this game 34-27. It only took 1 overtime. Kentucky scores. They get the ball first, scores on the first overtime, and then they hold EKU without a touchdown. So let's go to the next game. The Football Cats off next week. They get a few extra days, though, to prepare for Auburn.
Yeah, the Tigers who come to town for a Thursday night game on ESPN on October 15th. The Tigers haven't quite lived up to the expectations from preseason. San Jose State giving Auburn problems at home earlier tonight. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. and you can watch it again on ESPN.
I just want to do the paper toss.
Can we
now.
breathe?
That's like a 3-minute highlight pack. Hey, hopefully we'll hear from head coach Mark Stoops as well.
Hopefully,
yes. He's out there. Hopefully we'll get that to you. If not, It's all good. Cats win. The 4-1. All good. Up next, UPike, Cumberland's Marshall, all at home today.
Yes, Union also at home against #1 team in the NAIA. The Bulldogs scared them a little bit early.
Play action over the middle. Caught. First down. Touchdown. Bulldogs.
I am Jordan Doan, running back from Somerset, and you're watching Sports Overtime Saturday night.
Thanks for sticking with us. Jamie, our college game of the week features the #1 team in the nation in NAIA, Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah, that's right. The Blue Raiders at Union. The Bulldogs giving back the Brass Lantern Trophy last week to Cumberland's Patriots and still looking for win #1 on the year. That's what I like about Snapchat, by the way. You get a trophy, you don't have to give those back. Union had to give theirs back last week.
Oh, my goodness.
Last time Union went up against a #1 was in 2001. That was Georgetown, and the Tigers won the national title that year. How many trophies do you have on Snapchat?
0 trophies.
0 trophies?
0.
All you have to do is like send a video and you get a trophy. Last time, like I said, Union played #1 back in 2001, picking up first quarter. Dogs up 3-0 with a minute left and a half, and Kyle Keplinger goes 20 yards on the score. Union goes up 10-0 over Lindsey Wilson, and that sets up the Falls Auto Group drive of the night. Here we go. It started when Serge Beta got a sack to force Lindsey Wilson to turn it over on downs. He was fired up after that. And then on the 5th play of the drive, on a 4th and 6, Whittlesey completes this pass for a first down, and then that's pretty nice. I bet you he's got a lot of trophies on Snapchat.
Probably.
He deserves a trophy just for that throw. And then, of course, capped off this drive with Keplinger, a quick slant, and a touchdown. Lindsey Wilson only giving up 12 points per game. They're already giving up 10 in the first quarter.
Looking good for Union.
What's going on? Blue Raiders score a touchdown to bring the game within 3. Now 18 seconds to go in the half. Threatening again. Jay Godlock, the freshman, goes up, gets it.
He got up.
For real. Lindsey Wilson takes a 14-10 lead right before the half.
We just got to put two halves together. We were right here last week, and we just got to put two halves together. I think that, obviously their pace is excellent. They're a very fundamentally sound team, and we've got to make sure our fundamentals match theirs.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Just play two halves of good football, you'll win. Third quarter, that's not good football. Kamatrick Ross catches it. Another look over the shoulder grab.
Depends on who you ask, though. Lindsey Wilson people would say that's good football.
That is good football. I'm not sure about that tackle, but anyways, very next play, Zach Mizell from 15 yards out. Lindsey Wilson makes it a 2-possession game. Yikes. So that turned around real quick. Under 50 seconds to go in the quarter, Blue Raiders drive right back down the field, and this time it's Josh Haney. Did you see that up and over?
He up and over big time.
Up and over. Yeah, see it again. He acted like a pogo stick here. Boing. Whee! That's all it takes. Go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard after putting up 10 points in the first quarter. Lindsey Wilson annihilates Union 42-17. Bulldogs still winless on the season.
Well, we just didn't execute real well on offense early on, and hats off to Union because they came out and they played tough. They played tough in the first quarter and really the entire first half. And we were fortunate to get a couple scores right before halftime. But when you're ranked #1, you're going to get your opponent's best effort every week, and we need to get used to that. We need to start better. We woke up a little bit there in the second quarter, but we've got to do a better job of coming out ready to play. But hats off to Union for coming out and being ready to go.
Your special teams played very well in that second half. What was the motivation behind them just turning it on?
Well, just execution. We've been one guy away a lot this season on special teams. We've had some good punt returns. We returned 2 for touchdown in our first game, but it's been a couple weeks since we've had another one. And our returner Allen is about 5'2". We might list him at 5'3" in the program, but he's tough to tackle one-on-one in a phone booth. He's electric, and our guys block well for him, and we had some big plays.
All right, Al Holland and the UPike Bears welcoming in Cumberland, the Bulldogs out of the West Division of the Mid-South. Not a good way to start the game here by the Bears. Second play of their possession, Cumberland's Tyler Burr strips Quan Weaver, scoops it up. Well, that's going to set up the Bulldogs real nice and deep in Bear territory.
You got the mitts on it.
Few plays later, Justin Snyder connects with Brandon Mallory from 2 yards out, and Cumberland capitalizes on the UPike turnover 7-0 early. UPike, though, they would respond. They march right back down the field. Sonny Warren keeps it from 17 yards out for the equalizer. He ran for 49 yards, and that score added 258 yards through the air. We're tied up at 7 apiece. The Cumberland defense, though, gave the Bears line all they could handle all day. Sonny Warren was sacked 3 times, and as we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, the Bulldogs outlast the Bears in Pikeville 37-33. U-Pike has lost 2 straight, and they travel to Campbellsville next week.
I know you like Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter.
Did you like the mud as a child?
Where are you going with this?
Well, look how muddy it was at James H. Taylor Field.
Oh,
Matt Reimer's Cumberland's Patriots 3-1 to start the year, taking on the Bethel Wildcats. Opening drive of the game, second play from scrimmage. Cole Russell. Oh, he's not wasting any time. He wants to get wet, dirty, and all kinds of messy, I guess.
Grass stainy.
Yes, splish splash in the rain. 28-yard run. Very next play, Adam Craig from 2 yards out. Guy has 11 rushing touchdowns. He's a quarterback.
Hey, Cray Cray on Twitter.
Craig? Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. I might follow him just for that. Patriots up 7-0. Bethel goes 3 and out, lines up to punt. The snap. As AWOL Nation says, sail! There's the church, there's the steeple, that's a safety. Cumberland's leads 9-0. Ensuing kickoff, Wendell Williams back to receive. You know those 2 words, ensuing kickoff, right?
Means something's about to happen.
For real. He's not saying, hey, what's up, hello. He's saying, I'm going to the end zone. Bye. That puts the Patriots up 16-0. See Brandon Hensley in the background, former YMTer himself. Next drive for the Cumberlands, now 16-7. Craig drops back. He only passed twice today. This one goes long to Weston Hayes. He's not going down with a fight. Without a fight, I should say. 43 yards on the hookup. 5 plays later, Seth Burke is in from a couple yards out. First 3-game winning streak under head coach Matt Reimer. As we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, 525 yards of total offense today for the Patriots. They win 59-7, and guess who they get next week?
Lindsey Wilson.
#1 ranked team in the NAIA.
How about Marshall at home against Conference USA opponent Old Dominion today out in Huntington? We're scoreless early. Chase Litton hands it off to Tony Pittman, who fumbles it. Old Dominion recovered but couldn't do anything with the ball. Hurd now with another opportunity, driving again, rain pouring down. Litton over the middle to Deontay McManus. A low ball, still a touchdown, puts Marshall on the board 7-0. Monarchs turn to respond now. Schuler Bentley drops back, throws over the middle, but Corey Tyndall reads it the entire way, gets the INT for the Thundering Herd, and we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. Marshall wins in a rainy one at home, 27-7 over Old Dominion. Southern Miss travels to Huntington for a game next Friday night.
Louisville traveling to North Carolina State. Wolfpack driving in their first. Nice pitch and catch over the middle, but Cardinal DB Truman Washington drags down Jermichael Ramus, and he fumbles the football. State turns it over on their own 5-yard line. Louisville would capitalize. Lamar Jackson, see you later. 68 to the house for the touchdown. 7-0 Louisville. Jackson getting it done through the air too. 20-yard floater to Deviante Pete. Louisville in control 14-0. NC State making it interesting though. Jacoby Brissett to Jalen Samuels. 21-yard touchdown as we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. And oh my goodness, Louisville wins again.
2 straight.
20-13. They lose though their first 3 games, but they've won, like you said, the last 2.
Focus on the positives here. Staying on the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard, 97 total points scored in the Wise West Virginia State game. Unfortunately, the Cavs did not pull out the victory, 52-45 the final score. And the Morehead State Eagles go on the road and give the undefeated Jacksonville Dolphins all they could handle, but the Dolphins outlast the Eagles 30-26. Quarterback Austin Gayhafer threw for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns in the loss. And Western Kentucky improves to 4-1 today with a 49-10. Whoa, I thought I said that wrong. Victory over Rice. The Tops are 2-0 in Conference USA.
The only thing you did wrong there was you danced.
I did dance. I was dancing when you couldn't see.
Is this me? Oh,
yes.
It's me. Okay, it's my turn to talk. Miami, Ohio is off to a slow start this season. The Redhawks lost to the road, on the road to Kent State today, 20-14.
Yes, but Josh McKinney tells us how former Hazard Bulldog Chris Hudson is doing his part in trying to help resurrect the Miami offense.
When former Hazard wide receiver Chris Hudson signed with Miami University in February of last year, he was considered by the Redhawks to be their #1 recruit in the class of 2014 after catching 52 passes for more than 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns during his senior season with the Bulldogs. In his first season on the field with the Redhawks after redshirting in 2014, Hudson is showing why he was wanted so badly by Miami. Hudson scored his first career touchdown in the very first game of the season, a 10-yard reception on the game's first drive against Presbyterian College, a game won by the Redhawks 26-7.
In the end zone, touchdown! A perfect strike and a connection to Chris Hudson.
Hudson finished his college debut with 2 catches for 48 yards and 1 score. Last week, in a loss to the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, the 6'6" wide receiver had statistically his best game thus far.
And then Ross, the running back. Coomer fakes. Now Coomer puts it out there. There's a beautiful throw by Coomer. And there's that big 6'6" target. That's Hudson.
Setting career highs with 4 catches for 64 yards. He also recorded his second touchdown of the season.
On the screen, you see 87 Hudson.
Do they look to him? You bet. On 3rd and goal, Hudson gets in there and makes the catch. Nice call, partner. 6'6" is tough to defend, and he used the length and the reach, and the Redhawks are on the board.
Through Miami's first 4 games, Hudson ranks 2nd on the team in catches with 10, yards with 168, and touchdowns with 2, and ranks 4th in yards per reception. Miami may be struggling out of the gate, but offensively the Redhawks are certainly excited about the possibilities at wide receiver for the next several years. Specifically, it's number 87 from Perry County.
Good. Yeah, well, you took the words right out of my mouth, so now I'll just read the teas. Next on the show, we make our weekly round of SEC highlights. We got Bama, Georgia, Eastern Michigan, LSU. Who am I forgetting?
I don't know. You want to take my part here? I got you. No, I got you. Ole Miss, Florida. Wait till you see this. Ole Miss ranked number 3 in the nation. Didn't look like it today. Come back and keep with us on the Appalachian Hour, the Sports Overtime Saturday night.
Kyle Moore, Breathitt County. You're watching Sports Overtime Saturday night.
A top 15 matchup going on down in Athens, Georgia, Alabama. Not used to being winless in the SEC at this point in the season, trying not to make it 0-2 in early October.
Yeah, Georgia, on the other hand, rocking a 4-0 record, sitting atop the East Division right next to Florida. Let's head out to Athens. Some pregame pleasantries going on between the two teams.
Somebody said something about somebody's mama.
Georgia, well, they probably shouldn't have said anything. Second quarter, we're tied up at 3 apiece. Derrick Henry breaks through for a 30-yard touchdown run. 10-3 Bama. Please show this ad, Georgia fan. When we show a punt, you know it can't be good for the punter. Minka Fitzpatrick blocks the punt, recovers it in the end zone. 17-3 Bama rolling. You know, I'm kind of sad. Punters are people too. You know? Yeah. Still second quarter, tied, pouring it on. Jake Coker, play action, Calvin Ridley. Just beautiful. What a work of art.
Like, that was beautiful.
45-yard pass and catch for the score. Georgia regretting those pregame pleasantries there. Tide rolls big in Athens, 38-10.
Pre-game pleasantries. Oh my goodness. Top 25 matchup down in Gainesville. Number 25 Florida, number 3 Ole Miss. Anything can happen in the swamp. We're scoreless until this, though. Will Greer up top to DeMarcus Robinson. 7-0 Gators. 36 yards on the hookup. Chump, chump, chump. Gators still the first quarter. They're not done. Greer spots Jake McGee. If sure he does. Extra point no good. It's 13-0 Florida. Keep chomping.
I was Gator chomping.
Keep chomping. How about more Florida? Greer again. Is this? Wait a minute. Ole Miss is ranked 3rd in the country?
Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly is right. That's a 77-yard run by Brandon Powell. 19-0 Florida at that point. The Gators put some more space between them and the rest of the field in the East Division. They win big over Ole Miss, 38-10.
Now, while the rest of the SEC is beating up each other, Les Miles and the LSU Tigers are playing Eastern Michigan. Early first quarter, you know what's going to happen. Leonard Fournette, 3 yards out, 7-0 LSU early.
Do you think he shares a plate of grass with Les Miles?
No, he doesn't share anything. Next play, all eyes are on number 7 here, but it's a quarterback keeper, Brandon Harris on the end around. 21 yards for the Tiger touchdown. It's 14-0. 17-7 now. Harris gets hit as he throws, and it gets intercepted by Eastern Michigan's Luke McLean, who returns it inside the LSU 5-yard line. A few plays later, the Eagles get into the end zone, making it interesting, 17-14, but the Tigers pull away in this one, 44-22.
How much did Eastern Michigan get paid to play that game? Check
Hopefully
out
a
some
lot.
more final scores from around the SEC. Kentucky's next opponent, Auburn, had a gut one out at home against San Jose State, 35-21. Missouri bounces back after a road loss last week at Commonwealth Stadium with a 24-10 win over South Carolina. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt goes on the road to play in a hostile environment, down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 17-13, they win it over Middle Tennessee State. And how about Tennessee? Drops another game where they led in the first half, just like they did against Florida, and they lose at home to Arkansas, 24-20.
Rocky Top Nation is not happy.
No, not for real.
Later in the show, in this week's Sports Overtime Rewind, we look back at Allen Central's first and only playoff win in 2009.
Plus, next on deck, a recap of Week 6 of the high school football season. District games galore, lots of mud and rain, too. Come back and see this week's 2-minute drill. Nasty night across the mountains for high school football last night. When you throw your shoes in the washer instead of cleaning them with a toothbrush, you know you were in a mud pit. It was also a nasty night for this sheriff at the Belfry-Cabell Midland game. Just a good video to loop, isn't it? Here's this week's Lee's Famous Recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg. 2-minute drill. A sloppy, wet Week 6 of the high school football season. We start on the turf, though. County moves to 1-1 in the district. Dylan Cornett's 328 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns leads the Black Bears to a 10-point win over Letcher Central. The number 2 team in the Mountain Top 10 falls to the number 1 team in AAA in West Virginia. Belfry loses its first game of the season. Cabell Midland stays undefeated and knocks out this sheriff in the process. Pikeville wins on Hazard's turf. The Panthers secure the district, barring a major upset. Jenkins, South Floyd, and Phelps have a combined 2 wins. One of those wins came Thursday night as the Cavaliers put up 42 and defeated the Hornets. Also on Thursday, Paintsville wipes out Pike Central. The Tigers stay undefeated with a blowout win over the Hawks.
Here with Phelps, he'll pitch it to Phelps, and Kent has the first down and more.
Paintsville now faces its 2 toughest opponents, at Fairview, then an off week, and then it's Raceland at home. And the Rams handed Lawrence County its 2nd loss of the season Friday night. Breathitt County may have lost its first 4 games, but the Bobcats are now 2-0 in the district with a win over Estill. And finally, to our number 1 team in the mountains, the Pulaski County Maroons get shut out, number 2 of the season, 43-0 over Henry Clay, with Mark Stoops in the house. This has been the Lee's Famous Recipe, Hazard and Whitesburg 2-minute drill. I should mention, as our director Jesse said, Lauren, that sheriff was okay.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. He did take a lick, though. He just laid there like he was dead, but he's okay, I promise.
I would do that too.
For real. Big game
I've
board.
done that before.
What'd you say?
I've done that before.
Just laid there. All right, here's the big game board. Let's start with the Thursday Class 5A matchup. South Laurel at Southwestern. The number 4 Warriors looking really good this week with a win over Montgomery County. And then on Friday, a district battle between number 2 Belfry and Lawrence County. So the Bulldogs, they lose to Raceland. Belfry loses to Cabell Midland. Yikes. Both these teams probably going to come into the game real mad. Biggest matchup on this slate might be, though, the Class 1A matchup. Paintsville and Fairview. Huge district implications. Of course, that Class 1A District 6 may only have 3 teams, but it is stacked. Of course, Raceland in there as well. Paintsville will play them after a bye week after Fairview. Our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week is up there as well. Back in Prestonsburg this week, you see the 9th-ranked Leslie County Eagles will travel to Peaburg Friday. And then our number 1 ranked team in the mountains travels to Lincoln County. The Pulaski County Maroons will look for their 4th straight win over the Patriots.
A lot of good football.
A lot of good football.
Up next, we'll look back on the memorable run of the 2009 Allen Central Rebels in this week's Sports Overtime Rewind.
Yeah, and later, Louisville basketball in the spotlight and under investigation. Not good news here. We'll hear from Rick Pitino on the allegations against his former assistant coach, Andre McGee.
We see it all the time. Every so often, a program has that one season where things go right and history is made.
Yeah, that happened to the Allen Central Rebels in 2009. While they didn't win a championship, everything came together for a record season. Josh McKinney takes us back in tonight's Sports Overtime Rewind.
When you think of Allen Central High School athletics, sports such as basketball and volleyball first come to mind, followed closely by maybe baseball. Football would certainly appear on the list, but it may be near the bottom half. That was not the case, though, in 2009 when the Rebels put together their best single season in program history with a 10-2 record, a runner-up finish in the district, and the program's first and to date only playoff win.
Your final score, Allen Central rushes, from what I've been told, nearly 500 yards worth. They win 60-34.
Allen Central entered the 2009 season coming off a 7-win campaign in 2008, its most wins in a season in nearly 20 years. The offense was led by a 3-headed attack in the backfield.
Justin Jackson, running back Logan Crowder, Hunter Crowder.
With Justin Jackson and twins Logan and Hunter Crowder each rushing for more than 1,200 yards, and all three ranking in the top 12 in Class A in yards per game at more than 100. Logan Crowder was eventually named Class A District 8 Player of the Year. As a unit, the Rebel offense ranked 3rd in Kentucky with an average of 41.5 points per game and led all of Class A with more than 400 yards rushing per game. But it wasn't all about the offense. Allen Central allowed just 20 points per game that season, good enough for a top 15 ranking, and ranked 9th in rushing yards allowed. The Rebel defense recorded 9 interceptions in 2009, led by Mickey Parsons, who had 5, one of which was returned for a touchdown. The only 2 dark spots on Allen Central's schedule was a 10-point loss at district champion Pikeville and a second-round playoff loss on the road at Hazard. But the 10-2 record and 4-1 mark in district play was impressive enough for head coach Jeremy Hall to be named District Coach of the Year. The Rebels have yet to match the success of that 2009 season and may be running out of time as consolidation is expected to take place in the near future. But regardless of what happens on the field between now and then, that team and those fans can always look back at when they put Allen Central and its football program on the state map.
Josh McKinney, a graduate of Allen Central in 2006. Of course he wanted to do that piece. Josh mentioned the consolidation towards the end of that piece. Allen Central is expected to combine with South Floyd to form Floyd Central High School within the next 3 years.
Yes, as always, if you have any ideas for Sports Overtime Rewind, let us know. Send us an email to sportsrelease@wymt.com, or you can tweet at Sports Overtime. Next week, I'll be looking back on Lynn Camp's 2003 run to the state semifinals.
Up next, we'll preview some of the games in Week 4 of the NFL season.
Yes, and we'll look ahead to next week and name this week's Play of the Week.
Time for this week's Play of the Week. We go to New York and on the baseball diamond.
Popped it up. Escobar is there. And Max Scherzer has thrown his second no-hitter of the season, striking out 17. Max Scherzer puts his name in the record books alongside only 4 others who've thrown 2 no-hitters in a season as he completely dominates the Mets.
Max Scherzer pitches his second no-no of the season. The Nats win 2-0 over the Mets. What did you say about the handshake?
We need to learn that handshake. Did you see what they were doing?
I actually did. Okay. Washington has
Oh,
already
you just saw it again.
Oh, okay. Oh, I missed it again.
You
Why did
just
I look
missed it.
over you? All right, Washington's already been eliminated from postseason play, but nonetheless, Scherzer, this week's Play of the Week. Show me how you do it.
It's like,
Okay, we'll do it at the end of the show. Let's do NFL first. But first, actually, let's do some bad news. News Friday came down that rocked the University of the Louisville basketball program.
Yeah, allegations in a new book called Breaking Cardinal Rules claims a former member of the Rick Pitino staff paid escorts thousands of dollars to have sexual relations with recruits and players. Athletic Director Tom Jurich says they are still uncovering the facts, and this has since been turned over to the NCAA for investigation. Here's head coach of the Cardinals, Rick Pitino, on the ordeal.
41 years I've been in this business. I believe in the NCAA. I believe that everybody should compete on a level playing field, and a team that works the hardest and gives the greatest amount of effort and execution wins. I don't believe in any form of cheating at all to get an advantage with a recruit or yelling at an official or anything like that. I'm just totally against it. So it really, really has gotten to me.
All right, we now make the awkward transition to the NFL. Week 4 of the season underway. 2 teams with byes, Titans and Patriots, but the rest of the 30 teams all playing.
Yes, 2 of those being the Denver Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings. The 2-1 Vikings traveling to Denver tomorrow. It's a battle of the young versus the old at quarterback. Second year in the league, Teddy Bridgewater and the vet Peyton Manning. Bridgewater says he thinks he's improving every week, taking the coaching instructions to heart, and in doing so, the team is gaining more and more confidence in his abilities.
I think I'm making a ton of progress, and there are some things that may go unnoticed, but I think coaching staff are just asking me to do some things, and I feel like I've been doing a good job of doing those things, and there's still room for improvement. Each day, we come to work, and there's something that we can work on. So I know for me, I'm going to continue to just try to play fast, be decisive in my decision making, and stay aggressive.
All right, you said this is the matchup between the old and new quarterbacks, basically, or
yes.
young quarterbacks. Well, lining up against the Vikings this week, the 3-0 Broncos. That means Peyton Manning's on the other side. Their defense has caused all kinds of problems for opposing teams and offenses. And Manning, though, says the same thing about Minnesota's D. The Vikings only allowing less than 17 points per game. And Manning knows even though they're playing at home, the Denver offense has to bring their A game.
Do you see them that way?
Yeah, they are. They're an excellent team from what you see on film. Obviously haven't played against them, but they jump out on film. I'm just obviously studying their defense and good at all 3 levels, right? Their front, their linebackers, and their secondary, playing well together, communicating a lot, and it's complimenting their team as well. Not giving up many points and just playing really good football.
How about the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals? They're in action tomorrow against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals had to gut out a tough one last week on the road against Baltimore, and quarterback Andy Dalton says he's proud of where his team is through the first 3 weeks of the season, but he wants to see them continue to get better each and every week.
Yeah, I mean, it's another year. I feel more comfortable. I feel really good about where we're at right now. We've done some good things, but it's just the beginning, and so we got to keep it going. We got to keep playing well and keep finding ways to win. And but I think we've put ourselves in a good spot right now.
Oh my goodness, it's time for my favorite graphic of the show, Lauren.
Yes, it is.
The NFL on CBS continues. CBS on WYMT,
excuse me.
Continues. This Thursday night, we have an AFC South Divisional game between the Colts and the Texans. Andrew Luck in Indianapolis travels to Houston. Kickoff set for 8:25 p.m. And you can watch it right here on WYMT. Thursday Night Football, always fun. That's going to do it for another edition of the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night.
Yes, next week, high school game of the week is in Prestonsburg, Leslie County at the Black Cats.
Seaburg looking for a win. No college game of the week because pretty much everybody is on the road next Saturday other than Morehead State. Kentucky's off.
Hopefully we'll figure out something to do on this show.
Yeah. Enjoy your night.
Either way, have a good night.
Let's do this handshake. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.